Yo, what up, Fighter Chef fam? We back. This is the first of many installments to come as we reactivate and reboot this YouTube channel. I'm gonna be giving y'all a lot of stuff. You know, with the way social media moves now, a lot of this you've already had conversations about, or you've already kind of heard of. But I'm gonna try to bring it to you when I get it. We're gonna be updating this thing twice weekly. So sit back and enjoy the ride. I'm not new to this. For my 298 scraggly but loyal followers on my YouTube channel that's been sitting idly by while I haven't posted anything in God knows how long, with the exception of the couple of Keith Thurman interviews I did in the week before the Pacquiao fight. I appreciate y'all, but if you check my channel, man, you can see I've been doing boxing interviews for quite some time. I've interviewed the who's who in the boxing game, but I've been off my game for a while. I've dabbled into other ventures. I have an app coming out that's going to really change the fighting landscape globally, but in the meantime, we'll keep it strictly combat sports media right now. I've been checking out social media, and there seems to be a lot of talk around Tank Davis's performance Saturday, but not so much for how he dispatched his opponent. Definitely more for Baltimore coming out and showing love. Kudos to Tank, kudos to Mayweather Promotions, kudos to PBC for recognizing that and putting that fight at home for that young man to show his hometown some love and put the spotlight on Baltimore in a positive light, in lieu of some comments that were made before the fight. I do think Tank Davis is a budding star. He is not a household name yet. There aren't any household names yet in the sport of boxing outside of one retired Floyd Mayweather Jr. and one senator from the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao. But I do think that Tank could be on his way, because for all the things he does have the look, and he definitely has the pop in the ring to put butts in seats. However, Floyd is going to have to allow the young man to have a personality and persona of his own, and get out there and be more vocal about the things that he wants to be vocal about. We all know that, Tank is not perfect. He's had some issues prior to, as most people do, as all people do, especially when your life's under the microscope. But in order to become that pay-per-view star that Floyd wants, he's going to have to allow Tank to kind of go out there and speak freely on his own. I know that when we watched the post-fight conference for the fight this past weekend, Floyd didn't really allow Tank to answer too many questions outside of what was basically just the A and B of the fight. That was pretty much it. Anything else outside of that, he didn't really allow Tank to answer, which is smart. I mean, while you're prepping him and grooming him to be a star, you definitely want him to say something that can be used as a soundbite to come back and haunt him. But at the same time, you want people to plop down 74, 69, whatever dollars to watch him fight. They have to feel like they can gravitate to him, not only as a fighter, but as a person, whether it be good or bad. So big congratulations to that whole team. And like I said, to the young fella Tank, congrats, man. Keep up the good work, and I hope to see you continue to thrive. Piggybacking off Tank, I would like to dabble about Adrian Broner a little bit. I've had the pleasure of being in the presence of Adrian Broner on more than one occasion, and I will tell you that he's a pretty decent guy for the most part. What we see on camera is not really who he is when the camera's off. But with that being said, the guy is a marketing genius. He moves the needle. Hate him or love him, you're going to tune in whenever Adrian Broner is fighting. He's been in the media lately for the remarks he made in regards to Keith Thurman. And then last week, Mayweather brought him back into the spotlight when he congratulated him for bringing Tank, pretty much putting him back on his radar. According to Floyd, in the interview, he already knew who Tank was. But I think Floyd was still fighting at the time, and, just business and moving around. He had kind of lost contact with the fella or what have you, and then Adrian brought him back and was like, hey, you need to check this guy out. So Floyd wanted to thank Adrian for that. It was also his birthday, I think, this past weekend, so happy birthday to the brother. But when it comes to fighting, where does Adrian Broner go? I think I heard someone say that he's going back to campaign at 140, that he's getting out of 47, which is, if that's true, I think that's probably the better move for him. Only because his skill set and the way he's fighting now does not translate well at 147. As we've seen in his last few fights, he doesn't really let his hands go too much. He definitely fights not to lose. He doesn't fight to win, he just fights not to lose. He's not really aggressive. He's not letting his hands go. A lot of people want to attribute it back to him still being, the results of the Maidana fight. Some people saying he's a shot fighter. I don't know, but I do know that we keep giving Broner passes. We want to see him do well. Every time he makes a post or somebody makes a post about him, they always say, well, if the old AB shows up, the problem is, man, we don't know if that old AB is there. Only he can answer those questions. And hopefully moving back down to campaign at 140, we'll get to see some of that old AB. There are a lot of fights that can be made from at 140 pounds. There are a lot of contenders out there, a lot of champions I'm sure he'd love to get in there and dust it up against. You got guys like Regis Prograde. He's got a big fight in his hands with Josh Taylor coming up. You got Jose Ramirez, who just beat Maurice Hooker. You got Maurice Hooker. It's a lot of guys down there. Mario Barrios, just to name another guy that I really like. It's just, it's crowded down there, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how or who Adrian's next dance partner will be. I know there was some talk about him probably fighting Ivan Redkach, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, who just stopped Devin Alexander. But Redkach is a 47, so I don't think if he is indeed going back down to campaign at 40, I don't think that fight's gonna happen. But that was the last we had heard as far as an opponent. But AB moves the needle. He puts butts in seats and eyes on the TV channel, so it'll be interesting to see what the PBC Brain Trust comes up with and who his next opponent is, but I'm pretty sure we will probably see him back in the ring before the year is over with. I can't see him not taking another fight before the year is up. Segueing off of that, I think that Adrian Broner could possibly fight Terrence Crawford. And I know that sounds crazy because Crawford's at 47 and he's across the street with top rank and this and the third, but how about this? We do know that Al Heyman will allow his non-champions to fight across the street. We do know that he's willing to do business with other promoters as long as it's not his core stable champion guys, right? Until that bubble gets to the point where it's about to burst, he doesn't really do business with the other side. But here's a caveat. Adrian Broner could become a problem at 140. Terrence Crawford is the odd man out right now. He doesn't have any opponents at 47. If Crawford can still make 140, does he go back down and attempt to become undisputed again? If Regis beats Taylor, no matter how that Taylor Prograde fight turns out, you're going to get a fight against Ramirez at the end of the year or early next year for all the belts at 140. If T-Bud doesn't have any viable options at 147, he can come back down and fight any of these young and upcoming cats that were not at this stage in the game when he left. Regis, okay, Ramirez, those are big money fights. Broner wants the big money fights. Broner wants the big paychecks. You throw Adrian Broner down there, you got a super fight. Adrian Broner against Terrence Crawford is a pay-per-view fight because Adrian Broner will carry that. Terrence Crawford will put butts in the seats and eyes on the TV channel too, but his fans will be more hardcore boxing fans. AB will put casuals in the seat. And against a guy like a no-nonsense guy like Terrence Crawford that's not going to play with him, with the back and forth talk, or in the ring, that'll be a hell of a fight. I know we dreaming, I know we speculating, but hey, no Earl Spence. What's the next big fight for Crawford? Get all the straps and fight Adrian Broner. Just saying, it could possibly happen. The last thing I want to talk about is the Earl Spence-Sean Porter fight coming up in September. I'm not going to be picking winners. I'm going to try not to do that on this channel. I will try to talk about the pros and cons of each fighter and what each fighter should try to want to do to find a way to or a path to victory. I will say this. Those guys have a history. Granted, it was in the amateurs or in the Olympic trials or whatever it was back in the day, but they have a history. And they've been watching each other since amateurs. All these guys know each other. Earl Spence is going to be ready because he knows Sean Porter is going to be ready. And if there's anything that I can say about Sean Porter, and I've been saying this to anybody that would listen to me, or just when I'm talking, boxing with my friends or whoever, you're not going to be in better shape than Sean Porter. He is a dog. Now, with that being said, he had an issue making weight. I think his last fight, I think it was a fight against Ugas, was it? I think he had trouble making weight. We've never seen that out of Sean Porter before. He had to actually cut some of them braids off his head. So that causes a little bit of concern because Sean is always on point. He never misses weight. So that raises a little bit of a concern. Earl Spence is also known for not being outworked. That guy trains, I know a couple of guys in his camp. Oh, not in his camp, but in his circle. And I've had the pleasure of interviewing Earl a few times as well. He works hard. By all accounts, he works hard. So you're going to have two guys here that will not be outworked. So I look for it to be a very tough fight for as long as it lasts. We know how Sean Porter fights. We know what Earl Spence is capable of. We've never seen Earl Spence in danger. We've never seen Earl Spence really stressed. We've seen Sean Porter go short a couple of times, but he has that championship experience. He's been there before. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Keep it short and sweet with y'all here on the Fighter Share. Look out for more interviews coming as fight dates draw near. But you can expect to see me twice a week on your computer or on your smartphone or wherever you at on YouTube. I'm going to be there, man, because I got to get this thing back pumping. I'm going to give it to you 100% blood raw Florida style every time. I'm going to try to keep opinions and biases out of it. Well, I will keep biases out of it, and I will try to keep as many opinions out of it as I can. Just to bring it to you 100. All these other fight channels out there, I respect them guys. I know a few of them. Ellie Setback is the homie. My guy over at the Boxing Voice, Nesta, is a good dude. I've known all those guys for a little while, but at the end of the day, man, I'm going to give it to you from a Florida perspective. I'm going to give it to you raw. And we're not going to play sides, man. PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom, DAZN, Golden Boy, man, anybody can get it. We're going to give it to you raw every time. Like I say, look for me again later on in the week. And I'll see y'all. Appreciate it. Stay up.